me tell you something about writing, right? Just like every other thing in life, you have some high moments, you have some low moments. You have advantages, you have disadvantages, okay? So I'm going to tell you from my own experience. Everyone has got different experiences, okay? So I'm going to tell you some of my highs and lows as a writer. Now, writing my books has given me the opportunity to meet so many interesting people. This is an artist in Nigeria, and I've met also people here and also in Nigeria as well, because I do go for author visits in schools. So I've met principals, I've met amazing teachers like your teachers there, and I've met amazing children, smart children, you know. So my books has opened doors to meet so many people. If I didn't write my books, maybe I would not have met them. Okay, so these are some of the slides. These are some of the schools I've been to in Nigeria. This was 2018 and 2020, just before the pandemic. So I've been to so many schools, and I do storytelling for the children in the nursery school. And then I read chapters or just few pages from my book form, like for the children in bigger classes. I think this one was junior, I don't know how it's called, but this is like younger children in this class. And the other one was like primary 5 and primary 6. So I do author visits, and that's what my books has led me to, okay? Also, I go for book events at different conferences or children's libraries where I talk about the stories, what inspired me, and I get children asking me a lot of questions. And I love when children are inspired to write, because writing can open so many doors for you, so many doors for you. Okay. Also, one of the highs of writing is that you get amazing compliments from people. Children of different ages, even their parents read my book and say, wow, well done. My son loved it. My son, who did not like to read, now loves reading because of your book. So those kind of compliments, they make me feel so happy.
We can't see your slide now. We can't see your slide. You stopped sharing.
It's still sharing.
Stop sharing and try sharing again.
Let me share again. Okay. Can you see now?
No.
Okay. Let me do this.
Okay.
Can you see now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
You can continue.
Yes, yeah, I think I was here. Okay. So what I was saying is that writing my books and being a writer gives me compliments from amazing people, from parents as well, who say their children never loved reading. They don't like to read. They are struggling readers. But when they read my book, they found it so interesting that they now want to read other books. And those compliments make me feel so happy. Who likes to feel happy? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Right. So one of my biggest wins. Can I go on? Okay. One of my biggest wins is seeing my children inspired as well. This first picture here, she's the one who wrote this book.
Wow.
She's just entered secondary school. Yeah, so she's the one who's written this book. So I believe that because I always talk about writing, they always see me write. We always go to the library to borrow books, because ever since they were small, I take them to the library. We don't have to buy books. Sometimes you can go to the library and read a book. Sometimes you can tell
Oh no. Oh, no.
As a writer. I'm a mom. If you see my other slides, you can see my children. As a mom, I find that writing can be consuming because you. Are you okay? Is it okay?
Yes, ma. We have network issues there.
Network issue. Just hold it like this.
No, please. So sorry about that, ma.
Give me a thumbs up. No. That's all right. That's okay.
All right. Okay, go ahead, please.
You can go ahead, man.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so some of the challenges I experience as a writer, I'm a mom, I've got 4 children. And I find that writing is so time consuming. You know, if you're a parent, you know you have to do school runs, you know you have to cook, you know you have to go to work, you know you have to help and do homework, you know you have to maybe take this child for football or different things as well. So I find that writing can be time consuming because I have to remember that I have to write. And I write mostly at night because in the daytime, it's so busy in the daytime. And writing actually is a long process. So if you want to write a book, writing is just part in writing.
Go on, ma. Go on.
Okay. So writing is just the first part in writing a book. If you want to write a book, after writing, you have to spend time in editing. And by editing, I mean you want to make sure that your sentences are okay, your punctuations are okay, you put your full stops where your full stop should be, and all those kind of things. So writing is a long process. But I will tell you, as a writer, the advantages of being a writer are more than the disadvantages, okay?
Please, can you repeat
Another
that,
question I wanted to... You want me to repeat what I just said?
Yeah. Oh, so that you can speak
Okay.
more.
Okay, I said, right,
Okay.
The advantages of writing are more than the disadvantages. They're having network.
Please.
can I go on?
Yeah, you may. Yes, you may. Yes, you may.
Okay, so did I write as a child? No, I did not write as a child. But what I did as a child was read. I was a passionate reader. I read in fact, I can't remember all the books I read as a child, but I read so many books. We had so many books. We had a bookshelf in our house, which had books. Some were new, some were old, some were torn, some I couldn't even see the book cover. But the inside story was so interesting. And I found myself reading. When we were traveling, you know how you find sellers through the window of your parents' cars. They are showing you so many things they are selling. All I wanted my mom to do was to buy a book. If I see anyone selling books or across, through the window, I'll say, "Mommy, please buy that book. Mommy, please buy that book." And then she'll buy it. Right in the car, I would read this book from start to finish. I just loved reading books. So these are some of the books I remember reading as a child. I mean, I read so many, I can't even remember some of the titles. I read Eze Goes to School, No Supper for Eze, 1 Week, One Trouble, Chike and the River, all the famous 5 series, Mr. Men and Little Miss series, so many. And then this was in primary school. When I got to secondary school, I started reading Pace Setters. It's an African series. So I read so many of them. And when I got to SS1, because I did my secondary school in Nigeria, we started reading Chinua Achebe's books for literature. So all those kind of books, you know, made me love novels, African writing, books written by African authors. You know, I read so many, so many. So I believe that my reading from childhood developed my passion to be a writer. Because what happens when you read is that you know a lot of stories in your imagination. You can imagine a lot of things as a writer. Okay? So these are the benefits of creative writing. You're doing your creative writing workshop today. So these are some of the advantages. And I just wrote down 3. There are so many, but okay. Okay. So children, if you can hear me, do you want to use your voice to change something in your school? Do you want to tell your school a better way to do something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to express how you feel through maybe writing stories or even poetry? Who loves poetry here? Who loves to write poems or read poems? Okay. So there are all types of creative writing. If you want to inspire people through what you write, you have to develop your skills in creative writing. And creative writing is not only about writing books. There are different types of creative writing. You can write a poem. You can write a song. You can write articles, maybe for a newspaper, for a magazine. There are so many ways. There are so many types of creative writing. And I believe we are all gifted to do something about creation. Okay? So if you want to do creative writing, you have to build up your skills. And one of the best way to do it is to find a notebook, even if it's your 20 leaves notebook or 40 leaves, I can't remember those kind of books, but get a notebook and write down things almost every day. Practice writing down in a journal. If you have a diary, just practice writing, because when you write every day, it helps you bring out more things to write. For you to be a good writer, you must be able to observe, you must be able to take mental notes, and the most important one is that you have to enjoy reading. You must enjoy reading any kind of books, fiction, non-fiction, picture books. I'm an adult and I love picture books. So you must love reading, and that would help you in your writing, okay? So I wanted to read a little bit from my book, but I don't know if there's time.
There is.
Otherwise,
Please, go ahead.
That's the one we've been waiting, time we've been waiting.
Please, which of the books would you like us to read?
okay.
We want them to make their choice. We want them to make their choice. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
They're making a choice. Which one?
Sorry? All right, ma. Which one would you like to read to us?
Anyone, but if I can read a page or so from My Name is Kosi Kamsi.
All right. Okay, we're here.
Okay.
You know, it's because they have the book in the library and they've been reading, so I guess that's why they want a week of Tortoise Tales.
Okay, no, that's fine. I can do that.
All right. Hey, can we give a round of applause? Thank you very much,
Okay.
ma'am. All right.
That's
All right, now everybody keep quiet, please, and listen. Okay? Thank you. Please go ahead, ma'am.
okay. Let me. Okay. So I'm going to be reading from a week of Tortoise Tales, and the story I'm reading is The Magic Tree. So if you can, I don't know if any of you remember stories. So these are original tales that I retold for readers of today, okay? So I start. Tortoise cheeks were the size of 2 ripe oranges. They were so big. Other animals were getting thinner and thinner. But Tortoise was getting fatter and fatter. Tell us your secrets, begged his friends. But Tortoise would not tell them about the magic tree. The animals could finish the food and he could be left with nothing. So Tortoise decided not to tell any of the animals, any of his friends about the magic tree. Every day, Tortoise sang to the tree. Because the tree was magic, the tree would hear Tortoise song and send down so much food. And that's the food that the tree usually sends down. Sends down any kind of food you can imagine. There was banana, coconuts, oranges, tomatoes, meat, potato, yam, corn. Every food fell out from the tree once Tortoise sang. And Tortoise would sing, "Oh, tree." Sorry, I haven't got a great voice, so please don't laugh at me. "Send down food quickly. My wife and kids are starving. So send down anything, anything at all." And the tree would pity Tortoise and give him so much food. But guess what? If you know Tortoise's character, the Tortoise never gave his wife or children any of the food. He would eat everything himself. He would get so fat, his cheeks would be like this. Can everybody do this? This is how the cheeks would be so big because he spent his time eating all the food. And so, one Saturday afternoon, Dog was looking for food because all the other animals were in famine and he spent so much time looking for food. While Dog was looking for food, he happened to come by the magic tree. And then he heard Tortoise singing. He was like, huh? Tortoise singing? Why is Tortoise singing? How can Tortoise even sing? Oh my gosh. And so, before you know it, the tree started sending down food. Dog was surprised. Look at him peeping. He's peeping behind the tree. He is peeping. And he saw the tree bringing down so much food and Tortoise eating. He had never seen anything like that before. And so Dog said, oh, look at these ripe, juicy bananas. Look at those ripe, juicy mangoes. And while he was saying this, Tortoise heard him and said, who is there? Who is there? Dog said, it's only me. It's only me. Oh, please teach me your song. Teach me your song so that the tree can give me food. I'm so hungry. My stomach is singing. I'm so hungry. And Tortoise said, if I teach you this song, you must promise that you would not say anything to anybody. I promise, I promise, I promise, said Dog. And then Tortoise taught him the song. Lots of delicious food came showering down. And Dog munched and munched and ate and ate. He even had desserts. But Dog couldn't keep a secret. How many of you can keep a secret? How many of you can't keep a secret? There are some people, they can't keep a secret. Some people just cannot keep a secret. Guess what? Dog could not keep a secret. He told the rest of the animals. And in no time, all the animals in the jungle, the lion, the tiger, the leopard, any animal that you can imagine in the jungle, they all came to the tree and they started singing. Meanwhile, the tortoise went home that night. He didn't know all these things were going on. All the animals were singing and the tree was bringing down so much food, and the animals kept on eating and eating. All night long they were eating. Guess what happened? The food from the tree finished. The tree couldn't send down any more food because the animals had eaten and eaten, and because each time they sing, more food came down, but the food finished because they sang so much. Now the next day, Tortoise went as usual to the tree because every morning he goes to the tree. He was singing and, being so happy that he was going to eat so much food that day. And when he went under the tree and started to sing, guess what happened? No food came down. What came down from the tree were sticks and branches. And the sticks and branches started to whip Tortoise. The stick and branches fell down from the tree and was whipping Tortoise. Tortoise was so surprised, but he ran. He coiled back under his shell. Tortoise has a shell. His shell is like his home, where he hides when he's in danger or he wants to rest. So he went into his shell and hid there. While he was in his shell, he was thinking, what happened? Why did the tree send down sticks? Why is there no more food from the tree? But then he remembered, he said, it must be Dog, because Dog was the only one that knew my secrets. And he said he was going to teach Dog a lesson. He was so pained, he didn't know what to do. So the next day, he went to Dog and the rest of the animals. He said, I know you know about the tree. And I'm sorry I didn't tell you about the magic tree. Sorry, I've been greedy, but I apologize. Do you forgive me? And they said yes. Now, the tortoise said, because I really want to apologize to you, let's all go back to the tree, and so that the tree can give you so much food. And all the animals agreed, and they all went back to the tree. But because the tortoise knew that there was no food, as soon as he sang, he quickly ran back into his shell. And the tree brought down sticks and branches and started to whip all the animals that came to eat the food. The tree was whipping them and the animals ran helter-skelter. Dog didn't know what to do. While the other animals ran into the jungle, Dog ran to a village. And that's why up until today, the dog doesn't live in the jungle like the lion, the tiger, the leopard. Dog lives with human beings in towns, in the city, in villages. But wild animals live in the jungle because of what happened. So that's the end of the story. Did you enjoy it? Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, so that's the end of the story. Do you have any questions from either the story or what I've read, or let me hear?
Can you hear us, Ma?
I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, please come to the front. So you answer the questions. So, well, please take them. All right, stay here. Now,
Okay. Sorry, what was the question? Okay. The question is, what inspired me to write a week of Tortoise Tales? When I was a child, I grew up listening to a program called Tales by Moonlight. Tales by Moonlight was a program that there's this auntie that will call children maybe under a tree or in a shade and start telling children so many animal stories. So I used to like all these stories. And my grandma as well, when we go to the village at Christmas, she will be telling us stories about the olden days where they had black and white pictures. So she used to tell us lots of stories that her own mother used to tell her. And then when I had children, I started telling them tortoise stories. My children had never heard of tortoise stories before because tortoise stories comes from Africa. Okay, so my children had never heard of them before. So I used to tell them these stories. And one day I decided, instead of telling them this story every night, like for bedtime stories, I can write all the stories in a book. And then it's easier for them to read it anytime they want to read. So Tales by Moonlight and my grandmother inspired me to write this book. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, what inspired me to write My Name is Kosi Kamsi? Was that the question? Okay, my name is Kosi Kamsi. It's about a 7-year-old boy. My son was 7 at the time. My last child was 7 at the time. And he used to say things like, oh, I'm tired of being a child. I wish I was an adult. I wish I was an adult. Mommy, why do I have to go to bed now? Mommy, why do I have to eat my vegetables? Mommy, why this? Mommy, why that? Mommy, why this? And I just thought, if he's asking me this question, people of his age could be asking the same question. So I wrote this book about a 7-year-old boy because my son was 7. And I wrote some of the questions that my son asked. And funny enough, after writing this book, some of the parents that read this book said, this is my child. My child is just like this, you know. So I was happy I wrote about a 7-year-old child. So that's it. Thank you.
My name is
Please speak out loud.
What is your fact about my name is Kosi Kamsi?
Sorry, teacher, could you repeat the question? I just heard Kosi Kamsi.
What is your favorite part about my name is Kosi Kamsi?
Okay, is that my favorite story?
My
I can't hear that.
Your favorite part, the part you love most from the story. My name is Kosi Kamsi.
Kosi Kamsi, yes. Okay. My favorite part, actually, well, it's so difficult to choose, to be honest with you, because as a writer, I put in so much passion. I put in so much thoughts in writing all the stories. So, but I think my favorite is Grandma's Fat Stinky Goat. Grandma's Fat Stinky Goat is my favorite because it says things like rotten onions, rotten potatoes, stinky goat, you know, and how the goat was, you know, just misbehaving really. So I think that was my favorite part. And each time I get children to read that part, all their nose is like, ooh, ooh. When I say rotten onions, do you know what rotten onion smells like? Do you know what rotten beans smell like? So you imagine very nasty, very ill. So imagine the combination. That is what this grandma's fat stinky goat smelled like. It was awful, very awful. You can't imagine anything like that. So that's my favorite story from the book.
What is your favorite most favorite after?
Please, can someone repeat the question? My most favorite
book, yes, the most favorite book of all the books you have written.
Well, to be honest, there are some books that I've written here, but they are called ghost. I don't know how to explain it to you. They are called ghost writing. So ghost writing means that even though you're the author, you write books for companies and they pay you, but that's the end. You don't have your name written on the book. So I've written 3 books for a company in South Korea, and it's about alliterations and rhyming books. So I've written books with rhymes. So those were my kind of nice books because they were short and simple and for children in key stage 1. So key stage 1 here is primary 1, 2, and 3, I think, yes. So those were my kind of favorite books. But out of these 2, I don't know, to be honest with you, I just love them because they are different. One is about animal and the other one is about human beings, like human beings, children like you. So I really don't have a favorite out of these ones. I love them all.
Has any of your books won any awards?
Was the question, has any of my books won awards? Was that the question?
Yes.
Okay, none of my books has won official awards, but when they were published on Amazon for that week, and this one was for 2 weeks, it was the #1 bestseller on Amazon. Yeah. Under the, they have many categories, because if you go to Amazon, they have many categories, but under the children and African literature, this was #1 for 2 weeks. That's a bestseller. I can see you.
Please, can you ask your questions now? You said you were going to ask questions of the children too. It's time for you to ask your question.
Okay, so now my question is, how many of you think writing is a good thing?
How many of you? How many of you think?
How many of you think writing is a good thing?
People, you don't think so, right? Writing is a bad thing, right?
No, teacher, you see the thing, right? Everybody has their own opinions or their own. So some people may think it's not so cool. Some people may think it's cool because we are all different human beings. So we have different opinions. So can one person tell me why they think writing is a great skill to have?
All right. Please.
Tell me why you think writing is a great skill to have.
Speak out loud. Speak out. Hello, Ma, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but I can't hear the person speaking. Why do you think writing is a great skill to have? Okay.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Well done. That's very good. Very good. Well done. That's very, very good answer. Well done. And right, so many of you want to be, okay, can anyone tell me what they want to be when they grow up?
All right. Let me go. Okay.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh, please speak out loud. Did you hear him?
No, what did she say?
A police officer.
A police officer. Wow, that's cool. That is cool. Who else can tell me what they want to be when they grow up?
Let me ask you before.
Tell me, yeah.
I want to be a scientist and footballer.
You want to be a scientist and footballer. Wow, that's well done, well done. One more person, then we can summarize, yeah?
A programmer, wow. Let's want to be a doctor and a programmer.
A doctor and a programmer. That's very good, very good, very good. Okay. Do you know why I'm asking all these questions? Because
Yes, I do. Because it's serious. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Did you hear the answer?
Yes, I do.
yeah, okay. So
No.
you can be anything you want to be, whether you want to be a doctor, a programmer, a policeman, a policewoman, a nurse, a pilot. When you have writing as your skill, you can go far. You can be whoever you want to be. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can still be a writer. Because as a doctor, you can write books about health. As a policeman, you can write books about law and order or about crime. As a programmer, you can write books about programming. So you can be anything you want to be and have writing as a skill at the side. Writing can take you to so many places. If you're an author, do you know you can meet a president? You can meet whoever you want to meet. It's writing or your book can take you so many places. So I would want to encourage all of you, because you've sat here so nicely and listened so attentively. I would like to encourage all of you to write. And you start writing by enjoying reading books. So when your teacher tells you to read a book during your homework or at home or in school, make sure you read that book. Because those stories would help your mind. It will increase the way you imagine. You imagine better when you read. And when you imagine better, you will definitely write better. Okay? So thank you so much. Someone has his hands up.
Okay.
Yes, I'm actually writing Kosi Kamsi 2, because after writing 1, people were saying, oh, it needs a part 2, it needs a part 2. So I would have written it a long time ago, but I am so busy. I've got so many things to do, but it's in my plan. I'm definitely writing and editing at the same time. Because like I said, it's one thing to write, and after writing, you have to spend time in editing to make sure that your punctuations, your grammar, and everything is 100%. So thank you. I'm currently writing. And I hope I see your work one day.
Thank you. Let's say thank you to Mrs.
Thank you.
As a teacher, I'm also inspired listening to your workshop this morning. We are so grateful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for inspiring the children. Some of them really don't like about it. I'm trying to encourage them. So it's great that they're listening from someone else who has really published books and they're doing well. While we were talking about people reading, I am Kosi Kamsi and helping children like write so well. There are always people who look down. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you, teachers, and thank you, children. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for being good listeners as well. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Now let it go. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
All right. So you guys can go and wash your hands and take your snack. Well done for being a fantastic listener. Okay, you guys did so well today. Well done. Well done. Thank you very much, ma. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That's all right. And I'm so sorry. It's gone almost 1 hour. It wasn't supposed to be an hour.
We're so sorry about that. We're so sorry.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll still talk to you personally after this.
All right. Take good care.
Yeah,
Have
bye.
a great day, you too. Bye.
Yes,
Bye.